to those old days. So for me, it was no longer a contest between individuals. It was not a contest between a so-called interim political party and democracy. And when you have a binary like that, I have no doubt, no hesitation at all about what side of the barricades my position should be. And that interview by Datti, that disgraceful, menacing interview, was for me the ultimate signal. Because this was somebody, calling for a rubbishing of a structure by which he himself had profited to ever become a governor. I'm talking about Peter Obi, who was what is known as a judgment governor. And even before he'd attended the tribunal had sat, his party, his spokesman, in this case Datti, came on television to threaten everyone, to threaten her if his interpretation of the results was not upheld. I mean, this for me was immoral, politically immoral, socially immoral. It was playing to a certain script, even if they didn't know it. That's very important. It was later that I began to express my suspicion that they were part of the script.
Well, here we go again. Notice how Soyinka interchanges what Datti Ahmed said with that of Peter Obi, as if it is Peter Obi that is saying it. He's just conflating the two. For the record, Datti Ahmed never threatened any violence. He never called for any uprising. He was just focused on the violation of the constitutional provisions, like the 25% in Abuja and other Tinubu's certificate forgery and other issues. Soyinka saying that after Datti Ahmed granted that interview to Channels Television, that he thought that it was part of a grand plan to annul the election. It is completely unfounded. The way he attacked Datti Ahmed and used derogatory words on Labour Party supporters shows his hypocrisy. How did Soyinka react in 2011 when Buhari's supporters unleashed violence on innocent people across the north? If what happened to Labour Party, Peter Obi and Datti Ahmed happened to a northerner or maybe APC people, we all know what will be happening in Nigeria right now. Now, having this in mind, one wonders why Soyinka is determined to tarnish the image of peaceful people. Why can't he just support his candidate without trying to tarnish the image of another? Peter Obi has never called for any violence. Why is this man always trying to link him with violence? Many people at different fora have always asked Peter Obi, what do you want Nigerians to do next? What do you want your supporters to do? Since the mandate was stolen, Peter Obi has always maintained that it cannot be achieved through violence, that anyone that wants to be called His Excellency must come to power through the right way, that new Nigeria will be achieved through peaceful means, not through violence.
Mr. President, there is no constitution today in Nigeria. So when are we going to hit the streets? That is the language they will understand.
Thank you very much. I know how you feel. I know the pain you feel. But let me tell you what I've always said. We are preaching the right things. We will not do it wrongly. I've always said that those who want to answer His Excellency must come through the excellent way. It will take time. It will look as if it's going to be tonight. But I will tell you, it won't be too far. We are going to do it the right way, and we're going to get there.
Wole Soyinka trying to link Peter Obi to violence is very unfortunate, so it's necessary to set the record straight. Yes, Peter Obi benefited from the judiciary in the past. That was why he decided to challenge the results of the election up to the Supreme Court. And what has happened has happened. He has moved on. Are Nigerians better off? That's the question Wole Soyinka should be asking. He talks about democracy as if there's a difference between what we have now compared to military rule. These politicians under the veil of democracy constantly disobey court orders. They detain people indefinitely as long as they want. Even if you have numerous court orders ordering them to release someone, they refuse to obey the court orders and detain them indefinitely. This is what you find in a military regime. So, is there any difference? A civilian dictatorship is worse than a military regime because Western countries will never sanction them because of the fact that they are operating the so-called democracy, despite being worse than a military dictator. Some things these guys do, a military dictator will shiver at what they do. In fact, he will not have the mind to implement and do the kind of things these people do. They spend billions of naira on nothing. That's something you cannot hold. Imagine spending 3 billion naira just to rectify the register that they used in paying poor people. So Soyinka should stop this saving democracy rhetoric. It is pure deception. Where was he when the election was rigged and they went to court? There was judicial coup. All these actions didn't harm democracy, didn't threaten democracy in any way, according to his view. But when someone points out that people should do the right thing, that the constitutional provisions should be respected, it is that one that threatens democracy. There is absolutely nothing wrong with democracy. Democracy gives the son of a nobody a voice. Look at all the people elected under the Labour Party during the last election. Some of them couldn't even run a campaign. They were so poor, but they were elected. This is the beauty of democracy. When politicians obey the rules, they don't rig elections. That's why politicians will turn around and start playing with words to make you feel that it is the fault of democracy. That's why you don't have good governance. But that's wrong. The reason it is not working is because the operators don't obey the rules, coupled with corruption. Take for instance what happened recently, the Supreme Court judgment on the many governorship election appeals. They decided last week, some of the governors started thanking Tinubu after the judgment was delivered in their favor. None of them even gave credit to their lawyers for the victory. Yes, we know they have captured everyone, most of the judges are in their pockets, but thanking him, is it not an acceptance of the status quo? They should be fighting against the system, pointing out all the wrongs, not seeking favors from a wrong system. This is the problem here. People who seek favors from a wrong system means they are part of the whole process. That means if they find themselves in the shoes of a president, they will do the same thing. They will corner everything and make sure who they decide to be this will be that. This is the problem. So no one should thank anyone for not subverting justice. It is a crime to subvert justice. You don't thank a criminal for not committing a crime. What you should tell a criminal is don't commit a crime because the law will catch up with you. Coming back to what Soyinka said about the plan to annul the election like the military did in 1993 against Abiola, there's no proof whatsoever of this allegation. What was evident at the time was the fact that Buhari didn't back Tinubu in the initial stage. That was why he had to break the law. He showed his ballot to prove to the world that he actually voted for APC. That's enough to show you the animosity between them at the time. Apart from this, there's no other proof that the military or whoever wanted to annul the elections. Linking Datti Ahmed to that by Soyinka is very unfortunate. They keep trying to make it as if it's between the North and the South. Yes, politicians always like to take advantage in order to win. But patriotic Nigerians must understand that the fact that your brother is the president doesn't mean that your village will have motorable roads, that your street will be tarred. It doesn't mean that insecurity will stop in your state or in your region. Look at Buhari. For a whole 8 years, he couldn't solve insecurity in the northwest region of Nigeria. Zamfara State, Katsina State where he comes from, they are all under siege, but he couldn't solve them. So what is the essence of having your brother in power when he can't even solve a serious problem that you're suffering from in your own state? Not like it is in Enugu or in Lagos, it's happening in the south. It is happening with you where you live. He couldn't solve the problem. So what does it mean? It means that politicians don't care about your problems. They only care about themselves. They're always protected by police, secret police, army. They have a retinue of security men always guarding them. So they don't care if you're shouting about insecurity. It's not the business of politicians. Yes, look at Nigeria's history. The North has produced more heads of state than any other region in Nigeria. So why is the North not competing with Dubai today? That should tell you that politicians don't care about the common man. They're only there for themselves, to steal money and do whatever they like, to be in control. That's their ultimate motivation, not to solve problems. Isn't it time we came together and chose someone that will solve the problem? Someone that has been doing it all his life, not pretending to do it. Because obviously Buhari pretended. That was why people didn't know the true Buhari. But he came and people saw that, hey, he couldn't solve the problem. He wasted the 8 years and left without solving the most important problem, insecurity. Being a military general, he should have solved that problem, but he didn't care. Yes, he bought many military hardware, but the problem still persists till today. So the question should never be where the person comes from. It should be, is the person competent? Can he solve problems? The problems of Nigeria is mounting every minute, every second. Who is going to deliver Nigeria? Thanks for watching.